All right, hello there. Welcome to episode 2 of the Undisputed YGO podcast. I am your host, Rob, and with me this week, as always, maybe, we'll see, is my co host, Luke. What's the story, Luke?
That wasn't very nice now, was it?
Hey, listen, we don't know if you're going to be here every week or if I'm going to be here every week.
No. We'll be here. We'll be here. Don't worry. We only
Well, that's
just
good.
got accepted on all these podcast networks, so yeah, we have to do this now. It's a commitment.
Oh, yeah, we have a podcast feed.
Yeah,
Hooray.
we have a feed. We have. If you don't know, if you're listening on other platforms, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts and Player FM. They're the only top three that I can think of at the top of my head. There is other ones though. But if you go to Anchor FM and look up Undisputed Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, it will come up all the platforms that the stream is actually available on. So yeah, you can check it there.
We're also on YouTube, on the Undisputed Network YouTube channel, if you're that way inclined. So, just to jump into it, this last weekend was the remote YCS, and you participated in it.
I did.
What
It
was the feeling of this event?
very, very tiring.
As well,
So
it was like what time did you start at first of all?
so round one, they said round one starts at 10 p.m. and it was CST. So I think that was Central Standard Time. So that's in Germany. So that's an hour ahead of us. So it's actually 9 o'clock here in Ireland. So in the UK. So we had to get up at like maybe 8:15, get a shower and get my breakfast and go into the room, open all my windows, and get ready to play. And yeah, it was very, very long.
Yeah,
But
well, you say start at 9. How
yeah,
long did it go on to in the day? I think 9 rounds, wasn't
it was 8 rounds. But the first couple of rounds took a long time to finish. So if people didn't know, I played I played Grand Maju for this. Okay, uh,
it?
I basically studied the meta and just saw everybody was gonna play Trey Brigade and everybody was gonna play Sky Striker. And what better way to counter them decks because they're all going first decks with a OTK going second deck, and it worked. Like I did finish X3 by the end of the 8th round, but like I wasn't really pushed on playing the second day at the end. It was kind of a win-win situation because I was going my friend was having people over for his in his house for the McGregor fight, so I was like, oh, if I lose, I can just go watch the fight and enjoy myself for the rest of the night. The only problem was I was so tired. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man. Like people don't realize playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like it takes it out of you.
but the worst thing is I'll compare it to like actual YCSs after this, but in comparison to like this, waiting around at home is so much worse than waiting at a venue because you can actually go around the venue and like browse and do stuff. You're at home, you have to like keep checking the laptop. Like you have to keep checking every 20 minutes, every 25, 30 minutes, check your phone and be like, oh my God, I'm not going to miss the round. I don't want to miss the round. You have to keep running back up and checking like if the round is over or not. I know they have a timer on the phone and stuff, but you have to just double check and just make sure that you're not going to miss it because if you do, you're going to get a game loss and then you might get a match loss if it's too long. So yeah, that was one thing that I had to do. But there was times where I won a round and I managed to go to the shops, get food, come back, cook the food, eat the food, and come back, and the round was still not done. Yeah, it was that bad. Like there was like where like there was something like it's not the judges' fault or anything like that. Like they obviously have to do their jobs and get calls, and they have to do as much as they can. It's just like the players are just having problems. Like it just happens. But aside from waiting a long time, it was run fine. Like there was no other problems regarding to there was no, I didn't think anybody was cheating or anything like that. There was no kind of suspicious activity going on with players. There was one or two players who were a bit rude, but you get them everywhere. You always get them at real events, anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
But There's one particular dude that was very, very, very annoyed that I beat him, and yeah, he was French, but he was like swearing profanities, and he was like really, really aggressive, and I was just like, dude, so I'm not gonna report or anything, just just chill. And he's just like, he wasn't having any. He's like, oh no, your deck is cancer. You're this, you're that. I'm like, bro, it's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
You see that?
He rage quits then, and I was just like, oh, okay, I assume I win. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like you get those everywhere, whether it's in person or if it's online or Duel book.
But the interaction with people is sort of different too, because when you're playing in person, there's like a poker face kind of thing where you kind of like you can look at your opponent and be like, is he bluffing or is he not bluffing? Like that's something that you just can't read in the game. Obviously, you can kind of know with the hand signals if they're thinking of doing something. You might be like, oh, they might have this card, but that's the only thing you can do. Because you can't see their face. You can only see like probably like their from their chest to their hand, like to their waist and their hands. You can't see anything else usually.
Yeah, it all depends where their angle is. Like if it's all top down, you just see the mat, or if it's like slightly at an angle, you're seeing a
for
bit
people
of
who don't know, it's actually like it's now frowned upon to have your camera at like a bird's eye view. So if your camera's just looking straight down at your keyboard and you can't see your hands, they don't like that because your hands can go anywhere.
Yeah,
if you have cards in your hand and your hands go off the screen, like anything can happen. So just to avoid that, they make sure that players have their hands in view at all times. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It'd be like kind of having really, really high tables in Yu-Gi-Oh, and you can't see underneath like people's hands. They're just like they could be doing anything under the table, you know. But
yeah, anything.
Yeah. But yeah, in comparison to YCS events, like I love YCS events. Like I love it for the fact that the traveling. I don't really like the actual event. Like we usually enjoy the everything besides the traveling. Everything besides the event. Traveling is usually the best part. Like even my first ever YCS, you came with me to YCS in Pro.
Yes, sir.
That was 2015, was it?
2016.
2016. That's 5 years.
Yes.
Ago. That was good. That was actually a very good event. Like
I can't remember any of it.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best YCSs I've probably been to too. They haven't done much in the UK besides London. Liverpool was like a once off, I think, or something. I don't know what it was, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. Oh,
yes, yeah. A lot of them now are like in like. I think I saw you sent me actually a link that they might be doing one at like a Comic-Con in October or something.
Yeah,
just a random YCS.
There's people are saying that like could be a possible YCS this year in London at the MCM Comic-Con. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not, but I think it's very early because the UK still have very high COVID cases and stuff as well. So I don't know if they can have people from every different country traveling over from like anybody, like and everybody.
Yeah.
Most places that host YCS nowadays is usually Germany or the Netherlands. It's almost always Utrecht or Dusseldorf or somewhere in Germany. Sometimes Italy, but yeah, it's mostly Germany and it's just Central Europe. It's just the most convenient.
Yeah. So I'm just going to, while we're still on the topic of YCSs, I'm going to go down the top 32 breakdown for this last remote Duel YCS.
This is the one I participated in, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least this is what's saying on the page that I'm currently looking at. So I'm going to ask you to take a wild guess at what was the most played.
The most played or the most in Top Cut?
The most played in the top 32.
I'm going to assume it's Tri Brigade. I haven't seen the list, but I'm assuming it's going to be either Tri Brigade or Drytron.
They are the two most played decks.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Tri Brigade is at 13 and Drytron is at 7.
I actually lost to one Drytron player.
So Tri Brigade has 6 Zoo variants, 6 pure, and 1 Ancient Warriors variant.
Zoo, gee, like what?
Yeah, 6 Zoo were in the top 32.
Zoo.
Then
more like.
Yeah. Then Virtual World had 4 in the top 32. I don't know what that.
Yeah, Virtual World is basically a synchro spam deck. They make it.
Ah,
They make their boss monster is a Dark Law, and if anybody who doesn't know Dark Law is like any card, like any, I think it's any
I think
card
it's just
sent,
add.
but Shen Shen is any card that sends from the field is banished instead. Not hand to, it's just field.
Oh, okay.
But
No, because I
yeah,
know
it's still good.
Dark Law, you add to your hand and you can get rid of one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's even more. Yeah, it's even better. But they
Yeah.
play like Sulkin. They play Sulkin in Virtual World and make Crystal Wing and stuff too. Yeah,
Oh, I hate Crystal Wing.
yeah. Um, funny enough, the Droitron player that I faced actually made Crystal Wing as well. It's crazy. I was like, what?
Oh man, I hate the card. I hate the card
So
so
he made
much.
Crystal Wing. He made Herald of Ultimateness, which like negates everything, and he made that the XYZ, the Fafnir dude, which is like a spell and trap negate too. I was like, yeah, I can't beat this. But yeah, it's doable. Like the remote YCS is like it's not the exact same as going to locals, and like because you're not like hanging around with your friends, you're not talking, you're not. It's always like in between rounds where you have some good laughs with your friends, like talking about like like who did you face and what happened, any stories, you know. It's not really the
Even the
same
side
as
events as well. Like the side events at YCSs are usually pretty good.
yeah. So
I
some
remember
events
at
are fun as well.
yeah, I remember at Liverpool, they actually were holding a sneak peek on day 2.
Oh yeah.
Invasion of Chaos, wasn't it? Or
Invasion of
Invasion of
Vengeance,
Vengeance?
yeah, it was the one that
Yes.
Toad was in, yeah. And Dimensional
Yeah,
Barrier.
yeah. Dimensional Barrier. That was the big card that everyone wanted. That they had a sneak peek there day 2, and they also had the winner mat. I think it was the Dark Rebellion XE's mat they were giving away.
BA won that event, didn't it? I think it was the main decks in that format was ABC and BA.
Yeah, because ABC literally came out like a few days before.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think when we arrived in Liverpool, people were looking around in shops to pick up the 3
yeah.
ABC
It was
decks.
ABC, BA. I think Thomas Rose won that event, was yes, Liverpool. But it was ABC, BA, and also Metal Foes too. Metal Foes was good. But yeah, it was crazy.
I think all I played was ABC. Like for real.
Oh,
It was
you
unreal.
did play. I played BA.
I played Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
That was my first mistake. It was your Blue Eyes actually that I played,
Yeah.
which I then bought off you and then sold a few months later because I never played the deck.
Crazy that Blue
Oof.
Eyes was like a meta deck and now it's just not like it's nowhere to be seen. It's just completely gone off. Right? It's got I think it's got Dark Matter's banned. Like that was like the main thing. Like Dark Matter spam loads of cards in the grave.
It's not even that. It's just when you're drawing a level 8 vanilla monster, you can't really do much.
Yeah. Like if you're a casual and you like playing Blue Eyes, you can play it like with your friends. But at a competitive level, like I would not recommend going to a regionals or a YCS with Blue Eyes unless there's some sort of package in it that makes it much stronger.
Yeah, the number 100 combo can only go so far. You
There's
know.
actually a better combo than that, and I play it in Grand Maju. The level 8 combo where like I make a 5 material Zeus after like blowing up like sending a card from my opponent's field to the grave to rank 8. I'll explain that to you like off this podcast. I don't think anybody wants to hear that. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
might do like a kind of series where we explain decks and stuff like that. We'll see
yeah,
if
because
there's.
I actually done that combo like a lot of times during the event. People were like, "They're like, that's crazy! Like, how are you making so many materials?" I'm like, my extra deck is basically a rank 8 toolbox. And that's it. I don't really go into my extra deck. I usually banish it. They're like, oh yeah, fair.
Yeah, I've been trying to work away to get BLS into Blue Eyes because I saw the soldier guy at the First Night card on
Yeah.
Duel Links last night, and I was like, this card might be all right in Blue Eyes.
Do you play Chaos
So
Dragon 11 here?
yes,
Yeah, it's okay.
I also play the Pendulum Chaos
Oh
Emperor
yeah.
because it's really good just for its pendulum effect.
Yeah, the pendulum effect's broke.
But it's still far from finished. Like I'm only working out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Gaia is only working if you have a fusion monster, and then you have to kind of work away to get fusions and chaos max in the deck. It's coming together.
But yeah,
But we'll talk about that later.
for other people who don't like, who aren't listening outside of Ireland, I'm assuming the majority of people that are listening are probably from Ireland, but we still don't have locals. We've only just got restaurants. I know it's next week, isn't it? It's next week. Yeah, next week
Yeah, it
we're
got
only
pushed
allowed.
back 2 weeks.
Yeah, next week we're only allowed to sit in and dine in restaurants. Only now. Like we're allowed to visit restaurants and do takeaways. We're not allowed to sit there and dine. We're still not allowed to do that. Like it's crazy. Like Ireland is so far behind from every other country. It's insane. So we're
Well, for
probably
now,
gonna
until
have
we get pushed
locals.
back another month.
It's probably gonna be like near Halloween before we get locals. Like it's gonna be crazy.
Probably, yeah, because I'd say we wouldn't even be getting the jab until around the end of August.
Yeah, I don't even know what's like. I try to get a vaccine. Like I'm 26, but like I'm still too young apparently in the eyes of my health department to get a vaccine. It's all people above the age of 30 for now that are prioritized, which I think is insane. I'm not gonna get into this much, but I'll only just say my 2 cents is that the majority of people who are outside and active are people under the age of 30, and they're not vaccinated. So I don't understand that. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But let the country do what they want. I know the people who are older are more less immune to it and stuff, but I don't know.
Anyways, back to the top 32.
Yeah.
So, and then we had 2 Salmon Grey in the top 32.
Yeah.
Which it's mad that people are still playing that deck.
No. After Marsh Salad came back off the list, Salad is still a very good deck.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, I forgot that came back.
Even before that, like the deck was still decent, but Marsh Salad definitely buffs up a little bit. There
Yeah, but
was a
top 32 quality, though.
Yeah, some guy got top. There was a top 32 feature match that Farfa streamed from this event, and it was a guy playing Salmon Greats, and he faced. He was 30. So do you know the way top 32 works?
Yes, it's like the top face the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah. So number 1 faces number 32. So
Yeah.
the guy who was number 1 faced number 32, and it was on stream. So this guy who was number 1 was undefeated for the whole event. He has not lost. Faced number 32 who played Salmon Greats, and he lost to Salmon Greats. So he played the whole event undefeated. As soon as he got to top 32, top 16 get a prize card. He lost. He lost top 32. Like, oh man, I'd be so upset. Like, obviously, there's nothing you can do. People like competitive players know what that's called. It's called the XO course. Whoever is first is just gonna. They just have the XO course. It happens a lot. It's very, very common. It's crazy though. It's so horrible.
Yeah, would you not think it's kind of like a mental game thing where you start like getting a bit complacent with yourself, a bit cocky, arrogant? It's like, oh,
Well,
I haven't lost.
I think even because the course exists, it's just an immense amount of pressure they just put on you now.
Not fair, very, especially like when it's being streamed as well,
Mm-hmm.
and your record has a big fat 0 in it, and it's like, oof.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can't lose now, can I? It's like, I'm going to win the rest, and then, oops, mistakes were made.
So then, running down the remaining 6 decks, we've got Prank Kids, Medolchi, Dragon Link, DIS, whatever that is, Subterror, and the big bad dinosaurs made the top 32. Luke, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I was going to play it, but I didn't have enough cards. I would have won the event if I played them, I was just saying. But yeah, I didn't have all the cards. But I had a really solid list. But I couldn't get the cards, so well. I didn't want to pay the crazy amounts of money for Pot of Prosperities on the Archosaurus, so I was like, I'll just play cheap beatdown Grand Magic deck. Copper.
That's
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Grand Magic was fun. A lot of people didn't like it, obviously, because it's an OTK deck. But
Oh yeah, when you're facing it, it's not fun, but when you're playing it, it's very fun.
I was saying as I was saying, like that opponent, like who said I was cancer, like just told me my deck is really annoying to deal with. I'm like, I actually don't play floodgates. I don't play I'm not a control deck like Draco or Stun who plays floodgates and not let you play. I'm letting you play. I'm just absolutely dismantling your whole field. Like I don't understand that. Like he's the one who had the sort of the floodgates, the cards that disrupted my plays. I just had the removal. Like it's just had the outs. It just happens. That's what
Yeah,
I built the deck for.
yeah, it's not a combo deck, so you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You're allowed to play a bit more of the negate stuff or stuff that can let you draw or just do things
What
because
was
you're not
hilarious
limited to
was is
playing an engine.
that every time I won game one, I purposely went second. If I won a dice roll, I was like, you go first, and they're like, oh, okay. And then if I beat them game one, I was like, okay, they're gonna make me go first now. It's game two. They make me go first game two. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just signed in I think it's 9 traps I signed into my deck, and I have a lot of draw power. Like I played trade ins, I played desires, I played all these other cards, and I always drew into the traps, and they're always like traps that are really really powerful against like the decks I was facing. So like I had to cut like people playing like decks that are like reliant on the graveyard, and they're like, oh yeah, like I was like, I'll set one and pass, and they're like, oh, is that it? I'm gonna summon a monster. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna flip Macrocosmos, and they're like, oh no, this card is really annoying. Or it's like different dimension ground. It's basically the same thing as Macrocosmos. They're like, oh well, this card's a problem. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pass. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna OTK it. But yeah, it's pretty
That
fun.
is how it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really stops your opponent from playing. Like it's not floodgates as in I'm not gonna sit on it to win, but it was just like I'm gonna save myself for a turn, so then I can actually start playing again.
Yeah, you're buying yourself time.
Yeah, pretty much. They can play, but like it'll just like their play will just be ruined because all of the cards are just not where they're supposed to be. They can still play, they can still attack me and stuff with monsters, but it's just not not smart.
Yeah, man. Like I was playing against some of the AI in Ignis Pro,
Mm-hmm.
and the Grand Maju build that has built in is the Grand Maju stun build, where they just play back row
Yeah,
and
yeah.
floodgates, and it's
Oh no.
awful, especially when you're trying to test like a deck that heavily relies on the graveyard,
Yeah.
and it's just not fun.
Dimensional Fissure, Macrocosmos activates.
It's not even like earlier today I was playing against it and they flipped anti spell on me. I was like, oh, okay. I'll set this feather duster and then I'll play.
Yeah, so the last thing I'll say about the YCS is the most memorable thing about the YCS during play was that I activated Nibiru on my opponent on my turn.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
So there's a trap, right? So I was playing against Troy Brigade. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this to everybody, people who play the game competitively or not. So there's a trap, a Troy Brigade trap, and it reads you can special someone back as I think it's as many as possible Tri Brigade monsters, and then instantly link with them. So what people usually do is that they activate the trap, special summon back 4 Tri Brigade monsters that are either banished or in the graveyard, and they link them all away for the boss monster. And his effect is that it banishes a card on the field that doesn't target. It's really good. But what I done was I removed his back row. I think it was Lightning Storm I used or something. Well, I used Lightning Storm and I removed his back row. He obviously chained the Revolt. So he special back 4 monsters and then linked them all away to the 5th monster. And I was reading the Imperial in my hand and I was like, if you're during the main phase, if your opponent summons 5, oh, okay. I was like, I can use this on my turn. I've never done this. And he had an Appaloosa which negates monster effects, but I had a Kaiju in my hand. So I Kaiju the Appaloosa and I was like, oh, I'm going to activate Nibiru. He was like, whoa. He was like, yeah. Nibiru, wipe the field, give him a token, and then I special summon more monsters. I think it was like Alpha and stuff, and he's Mick. And then I OTK'd. It was crazy. I was like, oh.
Big
Yeah.
rock monster go brrr.
Yeah, go boo. But yeah, that was a good moment. But it was again, I would have liked to play a real YCS so I can go travel. At least if you do bad at a YCS abroad, you can still get a holiday of it and still do stuff.
That's it,
Yeah, make the most of it.
Also, what came out last week, just moving on from the YCS chat,
Yeah.
was the newest set in the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, and that is King's Court.
Mm-hmm.
I've done an opening on my channel if you're interested in that kind of content. Cheeky plug. And in my opinion, the set is alright. Like, it's a pretty decent set.
Set is good. Especially for players who are coming back if they wanted to play like some either old formats or they want to pick up cards that were not really easy to obtain. Like some cards like that are rare in it, like Pot of Duality. I think that's good for people who couldn't get them. That card's actually really good.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like Toon Chaos from last year,
yeah,
where there
Team
was a
Chaos
bunch
had
of nice
much more.
various reprints.
Yeah, I think Team Chaos had a lot more collected cards though, for like more casual players.
Oh, definitely. Like all the or the majority of the collector's rares in that were more catered towards the collector side of things, whereas the collector's rares in this
Mhm.
are more catered towards. I don't want to say meta because
Yeah,
Lightning Storm is really the only meta card I think that has the collector's rare print in the
yeah. There's
set.
one or two like Rota as well. I think is good. Reinforcement of the
That
army.
again that caters towards the collectors in old school.
It does, but it's also a card that always just finds its way into the meta as well. Like it's played in Warrior decks and it's played in Sky Striker. So
Yeah, I mean the card's good. It's still going to be played,
yeah, yeah.
but
Some cards drift in and out of the meta. But the funny thing is that once a card that's in like that's collector's rare that's not being used right now, if that somehow breaks into the meta, the card just like triples price. Crazy.
yeah. So they also have these god cards as well in them.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently Europe cases don't have the secret rares. Apparently
I
we've
see.
just got the ultra.
I don't know if that's true or not. See, I don't. I haven't looked much into this to see about the secret rares. If that's true, like it's kind of unfair to European players. We're never going to be able to get them like holographic Millennium Rare. Or what do they call Pharaoh's Rare or Millennium Rare? Is that what they call them? I don't know what
The
they call them.
Pharaoh's rare is the secret one, and the
Yeah,
Millennium
yeah,
is the ultra.
yeah. But I don't know. They look really cool.
I honestly can't tell the difference,
Yeah,
other
it
than
doesn't.
maybe like the stars.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's all
bother
I
me to be
noticed.
honest. I've the only cards I want that are collector's rare of that set is the King's Knight, Jack's Knight, Queen's Knight, and the God cards. Not much. Only six of the
Not much at
15.
all.
Only yeah.
And I'd only like the lightning storms and the reinforcement of the army.
See, I actually pulled two lightning storms from that set. So, and I'm getting, and a friend of mine pulled one also, and he's trading me for it. So I got a set very very easily. So I'm very very happy that it was. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, this card short printed. I'm never gonna be able to get a set. It's just gonna be the same price as what it used to be secret rare. But no, I got them pretty cheap.
Yeah, that and the Utopia seems to be getting pulled left, right, and center.
Yeah, there's no short prints. It's kind of like Tomb Chaos. Tomb Chaos didn't have short prints either. There was very balanced in regards to what was being pulled.
Yeah,
So
and I
they're
suppose
doing
that's
something
why it
different.
was
Like
such in demand. You know.
yeah, that's why the first edition boxes are crazy money now. The only problem with that set, even at this set, I noticed in Europe was that the cards look scuffed. There's some like it looks like the have you checked your commons and your rares? I don't know that rare commons rares.
No,
If
I
you
haven't
if
looked
you
at
put
them.
them to the light, it looks like there's scratches or something on them, or they look like they've been played. It's very
Right.
strange because when I opened them as well, I was like, these look like they've been used. I was like, what is this? They look like they've been true. Like they have a bit of wear and tear on them. Like the corners and stuff are fine, but the middle, like the actual on
Yeah,
the
the
card,
center of
it
the
looks like
card. Yeah,
looks like scuffed or scratched or something. That's crazy. I don't know what it is.
I'd
Tomb
hate
Chaos
if that
had
happened.
yeah, Tomb Chaos around the Tomb Chaos time. There was the OTS pack as well with Book of Moon in it. Where there was majority of the prints of cards were corner damaged. Like the back of the card was the corners were very badly damaged. It was unfortunate because Book of Moon is now an expensive card. It was like €50. It was floating around €50 for a couple of weeks. I got like two or three of them at that price, and now they're like three times that. They're like 150.
Yeah, that's not gonna be fun when I try and get those in a few weeks.
Yeah, if I go for me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's also another day. Another day's Go format.
That's another podcast.
It is well, not another podcast, but it's another day, a different day.
No. We entire episode dedicated to Go format.
Right. Um,
But yeah, I think the set you should probably invest in some of the stuff, especially in the upcoming weeks, because we've had someone that actually had their eye on reinforcement of the army, and that dropped €50, was it, over the week?
yeah, it dropped like
It's not even over the week; it was over the weekend.
it's great.
It
Yeah,
went
it's because
from
of YCS.
150 to 90.
Yeah, like if you want to, like if it depends on what you're opening for. Like if you're opening, like, if you want to play meta decks, like I wouldn't recommend opening these because there's only one card in it, as you said, that's meta. That's Lightning Storm. If
Yeah,
you want a meta deck, you should specifically look for the cards like the deck you want, the cards you need, like what set they're in, and just try pull the cards out of that set instead of just buying random boxes and trying to build a deck out of it because it won't work.
that's if you want to go opening boxes that route.
Yeah, but
But if you're obviously buy singles, but core sets is probably where you'd want to invest more so in.
yeah.
I don't think there has been. Has there been a decent set this year?
Uh, Maximum Goal was pretty good. That was at the start of the year. I don't know. That was the start of
That,
this year, was it?
that
Or
was
was it
that was
last year?
last year. That
That was
was
last
last
year.
year. Yeah, I don't think 2021's core sets have been very good.
The core sets, no. Blazing Vortex was good. I thought that was good.
No, is that, I think that's the only core set that came out, isn't it, so far?
No,
Because we've got this.
Lightning Overdrive is out too.
Oh, was that this year as well?
Yeah, Lightning Overdrive was last month. Like two. Yeah, last month. That's
Wow.
the with the Droidtron stuff, with
All right.
the Diviner and all that stuff.
Might have to give it a look. So
There's not many great stuff in it, to be honest with you.
yeah, because we've got this new thing coming out in August now. The Majestic, whatever.
Yeah, and then we have that Gold El Dorado in the near. It's like October, November, isn't it?
I'd reckon it'd be October, November time. Yeah,
Yeah, Halloweenish. But
that's usually when they come
that
out.
should be funny because they probably reprint all of the Eldritch cards that weren't reprinted in the Gold series in Gold.
Yeah, I mean, like we've still got the tins as well in September.
Yeah.
No, there's still a lot of products to come out this year.
Yeah, it looks very promising, to be honest with you. Like near the end of the year.
See, they always do, but then they drop the ball with reprints and stuff like that, or the lack thereof, or imports and stuff like that. It's just not very good.
But also on top of that, the Battles of Legend 2, that's coming out. They confirmed Forbidden Droplet is reprinting it, so it could
That's
also
cool.
have a tin reprint and a reprint in that set also within like 2 months, which would be crazy. But
Is the Dragon Legends definitely coming out this year, or the Battle of
Battles of
Revenge?
Legend, yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's like November though. It's very late.
Right, because usually they're around this time that they come
Yeah,
out.
they're usually in the summertime. They actually
Yeah,
postponed it to November, like to a later date. So because I don't know what they released instead of it. I'm not sure. Like
would it
maybe
have
it's
been King's Court?
no, because they always have side sets. Like remember they used to always have them legendary sets like the Kaiba sets. They were always side sets.
Yeah.
They always had a side set with main sets. And like now King's Court and Doom Chaos, they're all the side sets now. So
Yeah, I suppose not doing the collections anymore. They're just doing these
no,
kind of collecting
they're not
boxes.
doing them like they're not doing that like Shadows and Valhalla, and they're not doing any of them like like deck reprints anymore. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're just gonna go the route of collectors free and just save collector's cards.
Well, that's what the Battle of Legend is now, isn't it?
I don't know. Like usually the Battles of Legend is a reprint of some meta stuff, mixture of both meta
Yeah.
and collectors. It's usually a good set. They haven't disappointed so far.
Yeah, because
I think
definitely
they
they
call
had
it
that 10,000 dragon, didn't they, the last time?
that was Battles of Legends Armageddon.
Yeah.
That's crazy money now. He also had that Chaos Emperor Dragon, the pendulum one.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth much these days.
That's like 25, 30.
Is it?
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, it only has that's the only print is that set and the price card.
I thought they would have had a bit more. Like because so many people bought the set, be a bit more flooded on the
No,
market.
it's more so as in people cannot get that set, which is why the card is expensive. It's also a secret rare out of the set, so
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
yeah. But yeah, like that's my overview of the remote duel and my sets. I don't know if I have anything else for tonight. What about you?
No, I can't really think of anything other than, is there anything that we're working on that we can kind of tease a bit? Like I said,
Well,
I've been working with Blue Eyes, trying to make that not bricky.
yeah. I've been messing around with some decks on online, but like I haven't. It's a very bad time to be buying cards, so I wouldn't buy. Like I'll just test online with stuff, but I could test with like some random stuff. I used to used to be a fan of Heretics, so I was actually messing around with some decks like that with the new Utopia card.
Yeah, that card's pretty good.
But yeah, no, there's definitely a lot more things to talk about soon. Like we can, as I said, we can talk about Go format. We can talk about some story times about Yu-Gi-Oh as well, and some other good stuff that we can talk about.
Yeah, we can see if we can get people on that are interested in having a little chat with us.
Yeah, of course. Like we definitely know a few people who some people may recognize, or some people will like to listen to their stories. We will try to get someone on very soon, hopefully. But we can also get some friends on too, and they can also share their stories, because it's nice to hear other people talking other than me and you all the
Yeah,
time.
definitely, yeah.
Like the last thing what people want to do is listen to me talk all night.
Yeah, and like we can also try and do an episode. I think there was a request last week where like we just talk about deck builds and stuff like how to build a deck and
Yeah,
strategies and stuff like that.
yeah,
So that could be an
like
interesting episode down the line.
yeah. We can both have our views on it. Like the way you build a deck would be completely different to the way I'd build a deck. So we can definitely go down that route and see how different our minds are in regards to building decks, and how we see like what is good for the deck and what's not.
Definitely, yeah. But that could even be like a little challenge or something we do where we're both given kind of like a core deck and we just try and essentially build our versions of it or something like that. That could be
Yeah,
interesting.
if we do that, yeah, we can see. Also, we can mess around and just see some try out some stuff. I don't know. We can get some suggestions anyways. So like as I said, like we're on Spotify, we're on all these other things. Make sure you follow us, and I'm not sure if there is comments on it, but if there is comments in them feeds, I definitely will check them. Also on our YouTube
Comments
channel
on
as well.
YouTube,
Yeah,
so you
there's
can
definitely
comment on the
comments.
YouTube channel.
But
You
yeah, you can
can leave a
definitely take.
review.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what the podcasts are for.
But yeah, definitely give us some suggestions, because we'd be happy to get something, get the ball rolling and get something started.
Yeah, man. Any feedback is good feedback, so we're always keen to listen.
Yeah. We had, I think it was 20. I'm gonna say 20 listens, which isn't. It's not like we're not doing it really for all of the plays. We're really just talking shit about Yu-Gi-Oh.
And there's the one bad word that we're allowed to say in the podcast.
Yeah, sorry, I went from a PG to explicit. We're gonna have to change the filter now. Yeah. Oh shit. There we go again. Number 2.
Voice will just go off now.
Yeah, that's it. No. But yeah, as you're saying, please follow us on Spotify. Please follow us on all of your platforms. We have Google Podcasts. We have Player FM. We also check our Anchor FM channel as well. That'll show you all of the channels that the podcast is available in. Please also check out episode 1 if you haven't already. We also talk about the history of me and Roberts, how we actually became friends because of Yu-Gi-Oh, and all of the funny stories of us as kids playing Yu-Gi-Oh. We're still kids playing Yu-Gi-Oh now, I guess, but we're just in older bodies.
They're just a slightly more hairier now.
And a bit more chunky as well, but yeah, we'll get to that.
Right, so if there's anywhere that people want to find you specifically on your own, Luke, where can they find you?
They can find me on YouTube. There is a channel called Luqah. It's Luqah. It's spelled like that because I made an Xbox gamer tag about 10 years ago, and it's spelled like that, and I never changed it. So I stuck with that, and every single platform that I now own I own that username. So yeah, I guess I'm stuck with it. But yeah, if you want to check me out, you can check my channel. I don't upload content all the time, like ever. So you can just comment on all videos and be like, oh yeah, I know you.
And if you're interested in what I do, you can find me at Cydra. That's Cydra, like the Cyber Dragons. You can find, I think it's pretty much on the first thing that comes up if you search it. And I'm also at Cydra_XL on Instagram if you're interested in collection. I'm posting that daily. I've just recently crossed the 100 follower threshold, so if you have a nice collection page, shoot us a follow, I'll follow back. And yeah, thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, it's a bit longer than last time, but appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've listened to this far, we appreciate it. We'll see you next week, maybe. We'll see. We're going to try and keep these at a weekly Wednesday release. So we'll see you next time. Cheers, thanks for listening.